Okay, welcome America, welcome India, and welcome Selena Gomez to the live studio recording in 202. Today we are going to review a few ways on how to prove triangles congruent. Not all the ways, but I've got some matching here. So what I'd like for you to do first is go ahead and take side, 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 put it at the top first, side, angle, angle, side, and angle, side, angle. And we're just going to go through each of these very slowly and make sure we're comfortable with each of these. I'm going to start with this one. If we take a look, we can see we've got, and of course, let me start by saying, every time they give you two triangles and ask you if they're congruent, they always look congruent. They always look the same shape and the same size. What they're doing is they're testing your knowledge. Is the information they've given you on these two triangles enough to prove those two triangles congruent? So we'll start. We've got this side corresponds to this side, and it's congruent. We've got this side corresponds to this side, and it's congruent. And we've got this side that corresponds to this side, and it's congruent. Three sets of corresponding sides are congruent. Does anyone know what that is? Anyone know how we can prove those two triangles congruent? Those two, sorry? Sorry, you were yawning, so I couldn't understand.
You need the angles too. The sides you can't tell.
So on the summary that we're looking at right now, that's in front of you, do you have it? Look at Jack's. Take a look at Jack's. This is all the information that if we're given this information, we're guaranteed that the two triangles are congruent.
Oh, it's angle.
We don't know anything about the angles. We just know that all three corresponding sets of sides are congruent. And one of the ways to prove triangles congruent is side, side, side. When we're given all the sides are congruent. We can try to adjust the triangles as much as we want. We're not going to be able to do anything but keep them congruent. So these two triangles are congruent by side, side, side. And I don't think there are any others that are side, side, side. Moving on. Let's go to SAS. SAS, side, angle, side. Notice in the name of side, angle, side, the angle is in between the two S's. So in the diagram, the angle has to be in between the two sides, like this one. You see how the two sides that correspond, that we know that are congruent, in between them is the angle? This is SAS, side, angle, side. No matter what we do and try to move this triangle around, we're not going to be able to make them not congruent. This information fixes these triangles and makes them the same size and the same shape. So these have to be congruent, and they're congruent by side, angle, side. All right, now let's go to, let's go to this one. Let's look at the difference here between this one and this one. So I want you to see something. Do you see how in these two triangles, we're given a side that's congruent and it's in between two angles, right? And this one, we're also given two angles and a side, but the side is not in between the two angles. This is called the non-included side. That's what they call it. This is called the included side. So in this one, because the side is on the outside of the two angles, this is angle, angle, side. Or you can call it side, angle, angle. It's the same thing. But the angle is not in between the two angles. The side is not in between. It's on the outside. Because of that, it's angle, angle, side. This one, however, the side is in between the two angles in the diagram. So in the name, the side has to be in between the two angles as well. Am I going too fast? Is everybody okay with that so far? I know it's totally new, and there's no algebra involved at all, but it's still tough. Let's look at this one. We've got two angles and we've got a side. Is the side in between those two angles? No. So which one's it going to be? You guys are getting this. Last one. The side is in between the two angles. So which one's that? Nicely done. Peace out.